Have you ever noticed this feeling of unfairness? When you were told your whole life, study, try, do everything right, and everything will work out. Good job, money, respect. And you really did it. You tried, you studied, you perfected everything. Then time passes, and you look around, and you see a picture that doesn't match. That person who sat at the last desk, who didn't really try, who could say something silly, do things carelessly, not worry, suddenly becomes a manager, has a business, earns more. And the one who did everything correctly stays in place, or works outside their field, or doesn't move forward for years. And at some point, a question arises inside you. Where is the logic? Why is it like this? And here's the important thing. It's not about fairness, and not even about intelligence. It's about how the psyche works. Because in real life, the winner is not the one who knows more. And here it gets even more interesting, because smart people often live in their heads. And it's not just that they think a lot. It's a whole internal system that works almost automatically. First comes the impulse. An idea, a desire, an opportunity to write, propose, speak, start. And at that very moment, the analysis switches on. The brain begins calculating. What if it doesn't work? What if I say it wrong? What if they don't understand? What if there's a better option? And the smarter a person is, the more scenarios they see. Not one, but several. Then comes the next layer, internal rehearsal. They run through how they will say it, how they will be responded to, how to react afterward. It seems like preparation, but in fact, it's already energy spent. The psyche starts experiencing the situation before it actually happens, and at some point, it feels like you've already done it, although in reality, nothing has occurred, and motivation drops. Then control kicks in. It has to be done correctly. No mistakes, appear adequate. And here comes perfectionism, not as a desire to do well, but as a fear of doing badly. And fear is a signal for the psyche that there is risk. Risk of judgment, risk of shame, risk of rejection. And to avoid this, the psyche chooses the safest option, not to act. It's not laziness, it's protection. Protection from possible pain. So a person may know the best course, see opportunities, have ideas, and yet remain stuck. Because there are already too many what-ifs inside. Inside it feels like you want to, but can't start. You know what to do, but don't. And frustration arises. Why am I stuck? Why can't I? Why can others? And this closes the loop. Because self-criticism is added, and instead of action, there's even more pressure. Now look at the bold one. They don't sit in their head thinking, what's best? They just act. They don't go through 10 scenarios, don't worry how it will look from the outside, don't try to calculate everything in advance. They just try. Said, did, received feedback, move on. And here's the key. They experience real life faster, which means they understand faster what works and what doesn't. Imagine a very recognizable situation. A new project appears at work, a promotion, additional responsibility. The smart person thinks, I need to prepare. I need to understand if I can handle it. I need a bit more experience to look confident. And they remain in observer mode. The second person goes, I'll take it. They may not know everything, may not be perfectly ready, but they're already in the process. They are faced with real challenges. Somewhere they make mistakes. Somewhere they learn quickly. Somewhere they adapt. A month passes. The first person is still in theory, still thinking about the right way. The second is already practicing, has done dozens of actions, received feedback, and has grown stronger. Such people are often disliked, because it looks like audacity, like they are jumping ahead, like taking more than they're allowed. They may speak more simply, directly, sometimes imperfectly, which irritates those who think longer and try to do everything correctly. The sense of unfairness appears. Why them if I understand better? But the truth is that the system often notices not the deeper thinker, but the one who acts, who speaks, who takes responsibility. And that's why such people may be disliked, but they are often promoted, because they are already in motion. They don't wait for permission, don't wait for the perfect moment. They do. And yes, it may seem abrupt, may provoke resistance, but psychologically, it's just another way of interacting with reality. Not through control, but through action. And because of this, they move faster. Boldness is not always about character. Very often, it's about how a person experiences fear. More precisely, how their psyche responds to it. Some people experience fear sharply and for a long time. Then it controls their behavior. Some feel fear, but it passes quickly and does not block action. And from the outside, it looks like courage or boldness. Mistakes are just results, not verdicts. And because of this, they don't get stuck. They can do things awkwardly, imperfectly, with mistakes, and survive it. And here is the paradox. The smarter you are, the more tools you have to stop yourself. The more reasons why not now. The more requirements for yourself. And at some point, you start waiting for a state in which everything is ready. Knowledge, confidence, phrasing, conditions. And the person who treats themselves more simply doesn't wait. They allow that it may not be perfect. They allow that they may look foolish. And because of this, they start earlier. It's not about becoming bold and stopping thinking. It's about something else. Reducing excessive control. Stopping to treat every action like an exam. Stopping linking results to self-esteem. Because while you think, I just need to prepare a bit more, you are actually trying to remove risk. And risk cannot be removed. It can only be experienced. And the reality is that movement begins not when everything is understood, but when you are ready to start without fully understanding. The world is really moved not by those who calculated everything, but by those who started, faced, made mistakes, and continued. Share in the comments. Have you ever delayed and then seen someone else already do it and get results?